Canon is back. 8K video, 4K 120 frames per second, IBIS, and more. Hey, my name is Zach, and today I'm going to be talking about if this camera is possibly the best camera of 2020. Let's get started. After letting the dust settle after the first week of the launch, being able to gather my thoughts a little bit more and think about things in a little bit more of a clear way, the first thing that came to my mind is they didn't mention how this camera is going to be priced. There's still a lot of rumors going around that this is going to be around that kind of Canon 5D initial launch price, which I think was around $3,500 USD. But to me, these video specs kind of lead it in a different direction because they just came out with the Canon 1DX Mark III, which has technically worse specs than this for video anyways. So I'm not sure. I'd be really surprised if they do price this in the 5D range. That being said, whether it's priced at, $3,500 or $6,500 or somewhere in between, I don't necessarily see it being more than that. I do understand what people are saying. This definitely could be the mirrorless version of the 5D. But that being said, as long as it's priced under that $10,000 mark, I think it's gonna sell a lot of units. And I don't know what you guys think of price, but I don't think Canon's trying to make this camera for entry-level shooters. I think that's still going to be designated to the Canon M50, the Rebel line, or even if you're just starting out in full frame, their Canon RP now with the software update is a great alternative as well, and it has the brand new Canon RF mount. And I think that's only about $1,000 or $1,500. Something you have to consider though when purchasing this camera is not only the price of the actual camera body. Let's say if you can afford $5,000 to $10,000 for the body, you're also gonna have to, you're not gonna have to, but you're gonna want to reinvest in their new lens lineup, which I'll get into later on in the video, just to be able to utilize the camera's, kind of best features. And they're making a lot of great new glass for the format. But more importantly, if you are shooting in these higher resolutions of 8K or 4K 120 frames per second, making sure that you actually have the post workflow that can handle this. That was a big issue when people started first getting into 4K. I know it was something that I ran into myself, and it just kind of deters you from actually wanting to go and edit, because when you have a computer that can't handle the projects that you're throwing at it, it just adds a lot of unnecessary rendering time and errors and things that just make you not want to create stuff anymore. So understanding that and being able to put in a workflow or also being able to upgrade your computer to make sure that you can handle creating content at this quality. One of the most exciting things beyond the actual video specs of this camera for me is the fact that it has Canon's new RF mount. Canon's putting a lot of work into creating some new lenses for the new RF mount. That being said, they do come at a premium price point. So like for example, the 28 to 70 f2 is a pretty revolutionary lens. It's f2, it's still a zoom lens. It's kind of a modern replacement for the 24 to 70, even though they still do offer that at a little bit more of an affordable price. They're doing what Canon does best and really pushing the boundaries on what lenses can do. I also really like their 15 to 35 IS 2.8. So they're really putting a lot of effort into this. They've redone their 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8, and now it's a lot more compact. So it's it makes more sense for the bodies that they're going to be working with. But not only the native lenses, it's also a great mount for adapting. Canon makes some awesome adapters, ones even that allow you to adapt your old EF lenses and then have essentially an internal ND filter in between the lens and the camera body. and that's only something you'd get in pro grade cinema cameras. So there is something to be said about using older glass, or just the ability to pretty much adapt anything that you can possibly need to this camera. In terms of photo specs, it has 12 frames per second with its mechanical shutter, and then 20 frames per second with its electronic. But the real selling feature of this camera, where they're kind of kicking Sony in the butt, is that 8K video. 8K full frame uncropped video, and from what it sounds like, also the ability to record in RAW as well as H.264 or some other compressed file formats. And then in addition to that, you're also able to record 4K 120 frames per second uncropped, which is really unlike Canon. Usually when they offer something like this, it would have a crop or have something, which still leads me to wonder what they're doing to achieve this. If they're doing some kind of typical Canon things where they do some line skipping in the video, which I think is fine, even if they do, to be honest, because it's still going to be worlds better than any of the competition, but you may get a little bit more artifacting, or is the bitrate going to be a lot lower and really going to sacrifice the image quality? That we'll have to wait and find out. But that being said, there's still nothing else on the market that can achieve that right now. So I'm going to be really interested to see that footage. And I think honestly, that's where this camera shines. I don't necessarily know if most people are going to need or even be shooting in 8K. I think it's nice to have the ability, if you want to have that higher resolution or master your projects in it. But I think just for modern shooters, the ability to have that processing power from the 8K to allow you to do all these different things with 4K to get you a better image. I think that's the most exciting part, because it's just opening up tons of opportunities in a small camera package. Even to be able to get 4K 120 frames per second, the only other real video option on the market is a Red Epic or Red Scarlet that could do anything similar. Otherwise, you'd have to be using a huge camera setup like a Sony FS7 or F55 with their expansion modules and external recorders and stuff like that. And that's not even a comparable camera package. So the fact that this is now available in really, a photo camera, but obviously a photo camera that Canon understands. A lot of modern filmmakers prefer this medium of kind of being in a mirrorless kind of photo body. So it's nice to see that they're offering that. And then also combined with that is going to be IBIS, so Canon's in-body image stabilization, combined with their already lens stabilization. So I think these two in combination are going to be pretty class leading. Going to be interested to see how it performs, but it's going to be pretty awesome. And then also with that, not only for photos, but especially for the video side, Canon's big feature has always been their dual pixel autofocus. So with all these new fast lenses or RF lenses or your older EF lenses, you're going to be able to shoot these extremely high quality images, but not have to worry about autofocus in a lot of scenarios. Or if you're a vlogger or a more kind of modern content creator, whatever you want to call it, you're going to be able to really step up your image quality, but still have the features that you always are comfortable with and used to. It's really exciting to see that Canon's starting to get back to their roots of how they started out, really changing the video game with the 5D Mark II, and they're finally listening to their customers again, which is awesome. From the last video, we have a comment from my good friend Adam. Adam was asking if the brand new Canon R5 is going to have an articulating screen, and the simple answer is yes, it's going to. Believe it or not, Canon is one of the few on the market that actually kind of listens to its customers in that sense and actually offers a proper articulating screen. The only other company that really does it is Panasonic. Everyone else tends to do these really half-assed, like shitty, like only flip up screen. You can't flip them around to use them for vlogging or adjust the angle that much. And it's going to be in the new R5, which is exciting. And from my opinion, I think it's probably going to be in most of their other mirrorless lineup as well, because it is in the RP and the EOS R. So the only camera that probably won't have it is if they ever do a mirrorless replacement of the 1DX, just so it's a little bit more pro grade, weather sealed, and you know, most photographers at that level just don't care about having it because they're using an eyepiece anyway. So thanks for your comment. So let me know in the comments below if you're planning on getting the R5 or what your next camera is. So thanks for watching this video. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram @FilmZach. And until next time, coffee and create. Peace.